Right, so this is a recipe that one of our members gave us, Ross. So it's a massive thanks to Ross. And all I'm doing here is showing that you can make different adaptations, or different flavours of the basic recipe. It is what you'd class as a fish bite. It's a 2-ingredient dish. It's brilliant. And when he first posted it, I'm like, it's not going to work. I just don't get it, but it really does work. So I thought what I'd do today is I'm going to do 3 different types, mainly because I had a couple of bags of the fish pie mix, effectively. So when they give you the 3 different fish. So I've got some salmon, got some cod, got some smoked haddock. So I'm going to make 3 different flavours of fish bites. I'm going to fry them. It's the best way of cooking them. Well, I say best. They're too loose to be baked, unless you're going to try and put them in some sort of mould. But they take seconds to fry. I'm going to use. I've got some cooking coconut oil here. I've very quickly sort of microwaved it to sort of to melt it, but it's not hot. It's just been melted because it makes it easier to do this. Right, so it looks like quite a lot of oil. I'm just making sure I've got quite a deep pan just so I can drop the fish bites in. So I'm just going to get the oil, because this dish really does take just a few minutes. Just going to start heating the oil through. And effectively all the dishes, and I'll start with the salmon one. Now obviously because of this was mixed bags, there's a smaller amount of salmon. Next one up was the cod, and the one that's the most of is the smoked haddock. There's just enough. Effectively, it worked out around 125 grams of fish to an egg. That's the measurement. So there's just enough, or it's a fraction under 250 grams of the salmon, but I'll get away with it. There's bang on 250 for that, and there's closer to 300 for that. So I might need to add a little bit more, but we'll see for the smoked haddock. We'll see. Little food processor. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. So it has been defrosted, and I've basically removed the water that came out. Going to do 3 different flavours. So this one, salmon, dill, pretty much that's it. A little bit of salt and pepper, so a little bit of seasoning.
So how much salmon is there?
In the real world, there's 250 grams of salmon, 250 grams of fish to 2 eggs. Mm-hmm. This is a little bit light. This is a little bit light on the salmon. This is about 220 grams. So you get some kitchen towel, because when they come out of the oil, just let them drain off a little bit. Right, so a little bit of seasoning. Believe me, it takes longer to wait for the oil to heat up than it does to do anything else. A little bit of dill. That'll do. Half a teaspoon. Right, so I've pulsed it, not so it's a puree. There's still lumpy bits in there. Now, oil needs to be hot. Obviously, this is a brand new pot of coconut oil, so it's crystal clear. And when I finish with it, obviously when I'll let it cool down, I will strain it, take out any of the bits, and it'll go back into its original container, and it can be used again, and it can be used several times. So we need it at least 180, 190. I mean, we're only sitting at just over 100 at the moment. So I've just turned it up a little bit. We're close. I'm going to do some, I was at shopping at Morrison's earlier. Got some trimmed beans in the reduced section. 170 grams a packet. 3 grams of carbs per 170, 100, so 5 grams of carbs. 2 of them split between 3 of us. There we go. There's 10 grams of carbs. That's our dinner. Obviously, whenever you are frying like this, the more food you put in, the lower the temperature is going to go. So be aware, don't overload it to start with, and certainly be prepared for a little bit of sort of spit. Now these will only take a few minutes to cook. They've already floated to the top. So I'm going to leave them for another couple of minutes, but have a look at that, how well they form together. You can, especially if you're using clean oil, if you're using an oil that you've used before, they'll probably go darker quicker. So I can see which ones have been in, obviously, the longest so far. And again, thinking about portion size, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to get at least 9, potentially 10 if I just sort of only use. Right. Now that last one that went in, it didn't sizzle as the first did, so that's showing me the oil has just dipped in temperature a little bit. It's down to mid 170s, so I'm just going to leave that for a minute. I don't need to crank, well, it's on full, so I don't want to crank it up any higher, but I don't want the oil to go any cooler, so don't overload the oil when you're doing this. Right, these first 4 are basically ready. Again, I'm going to so the centre of this is at 93 degrees. So there you go, perfectly cooked. So that's the first 4 that can come out. These are so easy to make. I get it. You know, frying like this isn't everyone's cup of tea. It takes. You don't want distractions. You know, you don't want to be dealing with kids or pets at the same time. You need to focus on what you're doing. But it is very quick. So I'm going to get 11 out of this at least, because there's 10, and I've got, there'll be a little diddy one. I'll split it up. Right, last one of the fish ones. Right, so out of 250 grams of fish, so salmon, and 2 eggs, I've managed to get 12 fish bites out of it. Again, I'm just going to check. So this second batch of 4, 85 is still climbing, so they're cooked all the way through. Take your time. Just have everything available before you start. Get your tray, get your spatula. Right, beautiful. There you go. So this is chunks of cod. Exactly the same. 2 eggs. And this time round, I'm going to add. I've got some smoked paprika, and I've got some garlic powder. Don't need to overload it. Half a teaspoon of paprika. Same for the garlic. And some salt. There we go. Okay. that's thicker. That's probably more the texture that I was thinking about earlier. The salmon one, maybe I just didn't pulse it enough. It didn't really matter because they worked.
Maybe it's the spices.
It could be the additional, the extra bit of spices, but they still worked. They still absolutely worked. So they really hold together. Again, make sure the oil is hot enough. Let's see where that is. I'm pretty sure that's back up to 190 now. So these are ready, 100%. Perfect. And now we're going to go with, yeah, it's actually getting to 200 now. So that consistency there was what I was expecting when I did the salmon one. But it doesn't matter because it still worked really well. I'm able to get a little bit more, sort of like a heap spoon on these now. I'm only going to put 4 in to start with. There we go. Right, slightly bigger. That was only, I've just tested one of the first ones. They'd only reached sort of like 65 degrees. I'm going to go a little bit higher, but not much. There you go, 70. Doesn't take long in this oil. So these are the cod with smoked paprika and garlic. I was using slightly bigger spoonfuls for these, but I still got 3, 6, 8. I get 10 out of this. So 10 fish bites, again, about 250 grams of fish. Alright, so they're nearly done. Right, so just while these are finishing off, I've got some butter in the big pan on the back. I'm just going to sort of cook these in butter. So French beans, they've been trimmed already. So this is the cod with, oh nice, smoked paprika and garlic. Oh wow. So last one is the smoked haddock. I'm going to use one of the curry blends. So we're going to use a nice teaspoon of curry blend.
It didn't even have the sticker on it.
No, it was one of the sample ones. Been kicking around in the cupboard for ages. A couple of eggs. Bit of salt. Right, and that'll do. That's it. So I think you get the gist. Pick whichever fish you like, or prawns, or corned beef. Anyway, these are fish bites, so, you know, use 250 grams, or for every 1 egg you want 125 grams of fish. Add your seasoning. So this one is curry. And just fry them. These are quite big, so just making sure that they are fully cooked. Yeah, blimey. 90 degrees, they're massively cooked. Right, and then we'll get the last ones done. So again, I've got, you know, good. These are bigger. These are definitely bigger. So I'm gonna get 10 out. I'm gonna get them all in. Can't get it all on the spoon. There's a little baby one there. There we go. Right. That's us pretty much done. There you go. 3 different types of fish bites. Salmon with dill, cod with paprika and garlic, and our smoked haddock with curry blend. Now let's have a look at this one. Oh wow, very juicy inside.
Lovely colour as well.
Oh, they're good. So there's our beans. Yep, there you go. 80 degrees. We're good to go.